And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? Coming to you live. Just finished the very last day of training camp. It was Dwight Clark Day, which was incredible. Awesome crowd, lots of kiddos out. People still out there getting autographs, which is incredible. But training camp's pretty much over and done for as far as the public goes and coverage of that. About to take off to Tennessee, so I fly out tomorrow. The team's going to fly out, I think, Friday, and be out there for the very first preseason game. And we're just going to kind of keep rolling with that. And then next week, we're into joint practices and all that stuff. So what I wanted to do today is just kind of highlight some of the main practices, main players that performed well or didn't, that perhaps missed their last opportunity to close some ground heading into the first preseason game. And, you always got to kind of keep this set aside to where, look, what you do in training camp is huge. And that sets the kind of threshold and floor for what this team is looking for you to accomplish. But whenever you do it against somebody else, talking preseason games, that's worth way more. So hopefully you set the tone there, and then can kind of capitalize on that. We've got some, Don says, John, can you talk about the Breida signing? Matt Breida's been incredible. In fact, the very first team period, he was signed yesterday, probably for a vet minimum, whatever deal. He took the very first team reps today at running back. Like, he knows everything. So he's been in the Shanahan system longer than any other running back that was dressed today. And the running back position has been completely destroyed. It reminds me a lot. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago when we lost 4 to 5 separate running backs before week 1. It seems like we're there. CMC's injured. Isaac Guerendo's injured. And Elijah Mitchell's injured. Like, it's just like, good gosh, we've lost 3 of our top 5 running backs. So Matt Breida was awesome. Had some huge runs yesterday, some huge runs today. The speed is evident. So whenever you look at just what he was able, like, did he maintain his speed? Because you signed him off the street. So that's a sign. But I'm telling you right now, the speed is there. Like, he still has that top gear, and it shows. The vision's there, knows the playbook. It's awesome just to have him. Will he make this roster? I doubt it, especially the initial 53. Maybe he makes the practice squad, gets elevated type of a thing. But he looks the part. He looks really, really good. Jordan Mason was incredible. I thought that he continues just to kind of set himself as that number 2, especially with Elijah Mitchell being out. I think he's probably going to be the number 2 guy. I know Shanahan trusts Elijah Mitchell a lot more, but Mason's just continuing to prove receptions, pass protection, run game, all those things. Now, there was one spot on team. They were basically doing a third down team situation, and they threw just a quick out route to Jordan Mason. It was the second read. There was a blitz coming, and so it's kind of like a hot read, and he just unloaded it, outlet pass to Mason, who bobbled it, caught it. But, man, if that was CMC, probably would have converted the first down, but it wasn't, and so he was like a yard or 2 short. Like, there's nobody that's Christian McCaffrey in the NFL. Like, even if we had Alvin Kamara, who's probably the closest to that, there's one Christian McCaffrey. So as much as Jordan Mason can improve, he's never going to be that. But I think the confidence is there. At least I think that he does. Now, my players of today, Chris Conley I thought was incredible. George Odom had multiple interceptions against Purdy, both overthrows. One was against Debo on a crosser route, just sailed it over a little over his head. Odom made a heck of a catch. And then another one was on a fade route that was just overthrown as well. So Odom he seems to be everywhere. And you go back to Nick Sorensen whenever he held his press conference after OTAs and they asked him who's one of the most improved players in the defense. He said George Odom. His coverage is incredible. And it has shown all through camp. I don't think Odom had one bad practice. Now, once you get back Hufanga, that doesn't matter. But I do think that the Niners can breathe easier knowing Odom, you could put him out there week 1, week 2 if you had to, and you're not going to feel bad about it. So that's a huge relief because you just haven't really felt that way at the safety position. So I do like to see that. As far as like health, I saw somebody talking about injuries. No major injuries today. Malik Mustafa looked like he banged somebody's knee during team, went to the sideline, threw his helmet down. Man, that's a loud motorcycle right behind me. Awesome. That's the way it goes. So, but anyway, Malik Mustafa, he had this whenever he banged somebody's knee, runs to the sideline. Trainers are checking him out. They did the ACL check. I was like, no, but popped up. They gave him the okay, ran off, did some side stretches, put his helmet on, went right back out there and had a tackle for loss and broke up, like it was kind of a mixed exchange with the quarterback and running back, picked up a loose ball. I don't know if it would have counted as that, but now I will say this with injuries. Yesterday I noted Tariq Owens' son, Terrell Owens' son, jogged off into the training room halfway through practice in the middle of team drills, and they cut him today. And so, that's kind of the way the NFL goes. If you're back into the roster guy and you get hurt, your time with this team is over, and I hate that. They signed Keyshawn Vaughn, who's been with the Niners a couple of times, and Javante Kirkland. I'm unfamiliar with him. He made a catch there at the end, which was cool. So another wide receiver. So I thought that was interesting. Sticking with the starters in offense, Dominique Pooney. You're talking 2 weeks straight. You got Spencer Burford, who's dressed, working out, but his broken hand, he's on the sideline. Meanwhile, Dominique Pooney just continues to dominate. So players that can't, if I had to say, I'm going to do a full stock down, stock up on the entire offense and defense, like who increased their chances and decreased them. But, man, Dominique Pooney's at the top of the list. That dude's incredible. And I tweeted this out, too. If I could buy stock and kind of one player to just overperform or, increase their level of play this year, Diamador Lenore, I think, has been the player of camp, offense, defense. He's been that good. Absolutely incredible. Now, I don't want this to turn into a negative whatever, but, I start doing my positives and negatives. I've got a lot of negatives. Darrell Luter Jr. was back suited up today. He's missed 2 training camps, and people like Ambry Thomas are getting all these snaps because Darrell Luter Jr. is on the sideline. And even though he was suited up today, he didn't do any team drills. Like, this dude was playing in the Super Bowl. Like, you want him to be your cornerback 4. He's just not taking the moment. Renardo Green is. He took all the reps with the one today. Isaac Yadam has been out 2 days now. Don't know what the issue is that. I wish somebody would ask. But Renardo Green looked great. And he's playing outside. He's not playing slot. Demo's staying inside, even with Renardo Green out there, and Renardo Green staying outside. Also, just some other things. Jalen Graham, who I really like, struggling. He's not getting on the field. It's not that he's, hey, what's up, guys? Oh, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, guys?
Talking about Dominique Pooney. Okay,
yeah.
He's doing good. Okay, McKibben's looking good. Okay, yeah.
There we go, man.
Like
Appreciate you guys,
good
man.
To see you, baby.
Dude, we gotta link up sometime this year, man.
Right.
We'll talk. But yeah, so Jalen Graham just can't get on the field. He's not playing bad. It's just he's not in the 1s or 2s rotation at all. Even today with Fred Warner out, you had Curtis Robinson taking all the mic snaps with the 1s. And then you like, it's just, when is this dude going to get on the field? And it's a bummer. Even they did full team kickoff return. He wasn't even out there on special teams for either group, the kickoff or kickoff return. And it's just like, why is it? He's playing well. He's just not getting the rotation snaps. He's not getting the benefit of any of that. It's really, really stressful. One of the shocks today, and yesterday I think too, Jake Tonjes, the number 4 or 5 tight end perhaps. I think he's bumping up. He took all of Kyle Juszczyk snaps with the 1s yesterday. He was the backup fullback today. He had 3 catches in a row at one point in team. Like, he's been on the 49ers team for a while, but is he kind of jumping into that tight end 4 range, where sometimes we keep 4, something that I think kind of belongs. And so, yeah, I like the comments, just a casual Croc sighting. Yeah, he's the best, man. That's awesome. So I don't know, man. There's some major issues with this team, and especially offensively. You don't have Trent Williams. You don't have, Brandon Aiyuk. I get that. You don't have CMC. All right. But today, the offense just not doing what you want it to do consistently. And sorry, I'm not instilling a lot of hope. And Nick Bosa had 5 sacks today. Well, that's great. Nick Bosa is incredible. But, he's getting sacks against McKivitz. He's getting sacks against Jalen Moore. He's getting sacks on stunts. That's awesome. Nick Bosa is incredible. You can't let one dude just ruin everything. And it seems like every time the 1s were out there, Nick Bosa literally, he just reached out and just put a hand on Brock Purdy whenever he wanted to, within probably 2.5 counts. So, like, that's an issue. They tried to put, the X spot, that Brandon Aiyuk spot. Today, Chris Conley got all the ones. Chris Conley's looked great. Then the second team, Ronnie Bell, was taking those X snaps. Had, I think, his worst practice because he just can't get separation. He's had a great camp, and he's on my stock up. But Ronnie Bell needs to play Z, the Debo role, or slot. Putting him out there at X one-on-one with these corners, like Ambry Thomas was locking him down. Rocky Sin was locking him down. Chase Lucas, just no separation. Now, late in practice, Ronnie Bell had a great contested catch, and he's probably been the most consistent contested catch guy for all of the 49ers this whole camp, but it was from the Z spot. So I understand he was the backup to Aiyuk last year. That's just not to his benefit. He needs to go to another spot. Danny Gray, he's out there in a blue non-contact jersey. You can tell his shoulder was bothering him all of camp. Just can't haul in contested catches. He's the fastest dude on the team. I do believe that. It's just there's a misconnection between finishing plays, getting open. He just looks frustrated the whole time. And that's rough. Now, when Juwan Jennings plays the X role, which he's probably the slowest wide receiver we have, he gets all the separation in the world. So, that wherever Jennings goes, and I think let's just say hypothetically Aiyuk's not on this team week 1, which I doubt, Juwan Jennings will be the X. He will be the starting Aiyuk, number 1. You'll put Debo at Z, and Trent Taylor or somebody will be that slot, not Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall is not even practicing again today with his third injury in such a short time with the 49ers. It's crazy. Ricky Pearsall didn't miss a game in 5 years in college. Now he's had 3 injuries and just a very, very short time with the 49ers. Hopefully he gets over that and gets out there. Jacob Cowing didn't get a lot of team snaps today, but it was good having him out there. Good practice overall, but I think that's going to do it for us at our camp reports. I'm hoping to get a show done later today if I can, just kind of players stock up, stock down, and just go through as much of the rosters as I can, that they gained spots, stayed kind of the same, all those things. So, yeah, Juwan Jennings stock way up. That dude, yeah, he's not going anywhere. He is paramount. You can play him in the slot. You can play him in X. It doesn't matter. He just works. He just works. So appreciate you guys. And if you're going to Nashville, make sure you come out, say what's up. We're going to be down at PBR live in Nashville for the Titans game. So from 2 o'clock, day of the kickoff, that's going to be Tennessee time, from like 2 to 6, and then we're going to walk to the stadium together. So come say what's up if you're out there. Please do. And for us, that's going to do it. You guys are incredible. And as always, stay strong, faithful.